Welcome back to another episode of Caps and Flaco. Welcome back to another episode of Caps and Flaco, your favorite hip hop album, review channel, man.
Yeah, and the culture.
And the culture, dude. Us, if you're the first time viewing, this is Caps.
That's correct.
Caps, I'm Flaco.
Yes, sir.
And we basically, we run down, we have our gamut of how we review albums, lyrical content, album structure, and then beats.
Of course.
Now, throughout this journey that we've taken, I realized within myself, and I apologize to people because I've added a fifth element, and I realized this.
Now you have.
Just listening.
Now you have.
And it's the feel. How I feel about a project that manipulates my review from time to time. So bear with me. But if anything, Cap sticks to the script 99.9% of the time.
Maybe 0.7. A little bit. Maybe.
At least we're honest. Every now and again we put the feel element in there.
Listen, but it's hard. It's a difficult thing, man, because we all listen to the music for the most part. Most of us who are involved in this stuff are involved in the culture, and it's a very, it's a very close to home thing because this is something that we grew up on. We are a part of, and we continue. To be a part of it and contribute in any way we can. So, those type of things always fucking happen. So it's kind of hard to not always have your heart on your sleeve when judging things, but that's why we give you a certain criteria to try to keep the bias out and keep it, what we think.
So there you have it. And for this episode, this is our we're doing 5 projects apiece, right? So in hopes that we got 10. We don't know. Let each other bring it to the table as far as what project that stood out to them. I mean, there were a lot of dope projects in 2018.
This has been a great year. I will say, if anybody has the audacity to say that hip hop is dead, you must not have been.
They didn't tune in.
You must have listened. You must not own Tidal. You must not have a fucking Apple Music subscription. You must not never look at YouTube. Seriously. You must not, because this has just been week in and week out, quality after quality after quality. There's been some mishaps and there's been some folks that had a couple of missteps, but I'm very pleased as a listener and a person who enjoys the music about what this year embodied.
I agree. So running off, at least to start this, your top 5, I guess, then mine. And we'll chop it up in between after that, and then we'll proceed on.
Okay.
So, special episode.
This is a special episode. We are tipping our hat off to the top. Basically, the top 10 projects.
Yep.
Caps is not going to put EPs on his.
Okay.
Because, not that there wasn't quality.
Right.
But I can't, with the amount of work that was out there this year, I can't,
an unfinished product.
An unfinished product to me is like serving me a steak with no sides. It's like give me a hamburger with no cheese, no condiments.
Got you.
And there was some great ones. I mean, the Torre project was great. The Locksmith album project was unbelievable.
Yes.
The Stream of Thought Volume 1 with Black Thought was incredible. I was a fan of the Nasir joint. The Cuddy joints, the Pusha T, they were all incredible. They were all incredible, in my opinion. But we're gonna stick to the albums.
Okay.
So, in at number 5, I'm going with Stream of Thought Volume 2.
Okay.
Black Thought and Salam Remy.
Okay.
Black Thought, and I'm gonna talk about him a little later in this program. But Black Thought has had one of the best years this year.
Seriously.
He kicked off 2018 with one of the dopest freestyles in life.
True that.
In life. He also, he was involved in Stream of Thoughts Volume 1. He was also featured heavily with Ninth Wonder, which is incredible. He was also featured on some joints where he just propelled.
Yep.
And then he kind of took a little back seat for the rest of the year. I'm like, man, that's all we're gonna get from him. And then boom, last quarter, he dropped off the Volume 2 with Salam Remy, who I feel doesn't get enough credit as a producer. He worked with artists of the likes of Nas, just to name one. I thought the instrumentation was good. I was a little worried about the marriage between the both of them.
Gotcha.
But he was incredible. He was incredible.
Yep.
It was an incredible thing. I love the wordplay. I love the subject matter. That is in there for me at number 5.
I hear that.
Number 4, and one of the slept on albums this year. It's crazy because we ended up going to see Odyssey this year. And there was a young man that is in a group called Dilated Peoples.
Yep.
And the gentleman's name is Evidence. And the Whether or Not would be at number 4 for Caps.
That came out early this year.
That came out like in January, which I wasn't privy to. I wasn't aware of. Unfucking real. It was one of the better albums of the year.
Yep.
And you know, it's crazy because you hear it.
Yo, I got some money, I'm blowing all the day. They say Michael, don't throw it all away. And my reply was this more on the way. When I said it, I was walking in the rain. Yo, I did a show in Chicago.
I like to see the guy perform it.
Right.
And it's like,
because we saw it live before we even listened.
before I even listened to it.
Yeah.
So it was like a better version of what you heard in your earphones.
Yep.
Subject matter, you know, things like him talking about his wife having cancer and dealing with trying to have a career and deal with being a father and all the complications and heartaches you have to go when you see your significant other suffering. You know, and just, it's pretty crazy how like a lot of his music, even though we're here in this time, is kind of time capsule because the subject matter continues to be the same. You know, like, folks of color are not getting their fair shake. You know, folks of color are still suffering with the surroundings that are basically like pushed upon them. So it's like to see somebody from that area, from California, and you know, still bringing that to light for people in this day and age is unbelievable. At number 3, I'm going with a legend, Marco Polo, and my man Masta Ace.
Okay.
And a Breukelen story is in at number 3 for Caps. First of all, he's from Brooklyn. Shout out to Brooklyn. But I like, again, we're going with album structure is one of the big points that we evaluate albums on. And it basically told the tale of how Marco Polo came from. He's from Toronto, which I didn't know till this album. And it breaks down how he picked up and left without 2 nickels to fucking rub against each other, and comes all the way to America to chase his dream. And while he's chasing that dream, Masta Ace is breaking down the story of not only his story, but Ace's story too, as told now as a veteran in this game.
Gotcha.
He had incredible features. Elzai, Mr. Marlon Craft was featured on one, and that track to me was really dope because
You sent me that one.
there's always this like little like riff between, I feel like, the way old people's perspective is and new people's perspective is. I think that's like a kind of a topic that we always end up bouncing back to.
Right.
What I love about that track, which is called Wannabe, the scratches were incredible, is Masta Ace is talking about the things that he put in his catalog and the things that were highlighted when he was a young man, and Marlon Craft basically going from the young person's perspective, like, why wouldn't I do that? Why wouldn't I embellish in that kind of stuff? Because that's what you laid down for us.
Right.
You know, so it was really dope and well crafted. Like, it was a great joint. I mean, songs like like God Bodies with Trini Boy, which was amazing joint. Count 'Em Up with Lil Fame. Corporal Punishment with Elzai, who's another guy. You need to start fucking putting out more work, bro, because you are so slept on, bro. Amazing. You know, shout out to Slum Village in Detroit. They got, you know, they're incredible. Now, as far as, in my opinion, 2 of the albums of the year, I know Karan has one in his 5. I'm not gonna bring that up, so I'm gonna leave it for you, little bro. But 2 albums that I can't kind of like, I was swimming between these 3 projects. One I know you're gonna list, but between these 2 that were left over, Celebration of Us by Skyzoo.
Okay, right up.
Yo, unreal. And listen, this has been hard because there's been a lot of other joints that came out in the last quarter, especially. You know, like the Jamla album, Anderson .Paak came out the last quarter. You know, so there was like really Joel Ortiz. Yeah, you know, like these are all incredible things. But to me, what stood out about that is the continued evolution of who he is as an artist.
Sky.
Yeah. How he keeps picking the right people to get his message across.
Right.
And I don't think that there's too many people that are better at referencing just overall flow, ability to put a thought together and not just a broad stroke.
Right.
He's a very peel back onion type guy, which is something that we were raised on, you know? So I will put him in a tie with, I said this from the beginning, Book of Ryan, Royce the 5'9".
Royce, number one.
I think that he's another guy that has had an incredible year. To have the Prime album, which is also another great piece of work this year, which I thought you couldn't top.
Right.
And for him to come up with the Book of,
Time 2 came out first.
because the features on there, I never thought that they were marriage well, and they did. It was incredible. Shout out to Primo, my favorite DJ of all time, producer of all time. But the Book of Ryan, that story about what he went through, and then talking about like not trying to disappoint his son, who he unfortunately ended up doing the same thing to. You know, like his vices, having a career and stuff like that, kind of like took his fatherhood duties away. But for him to go back there and like just talk about, you know, dealing with substance abuse and how his brother went to jail for him, and you know, him trying to be a father, him you know, not wanting his son to be disappointed in him, and like to tie in, like, I mean, that to me, top to bottom, lyrics, lyrical content, album structure and beats, the production was unreal. So for Caps, that's the two of the top projects of the year. And I know that there's a few more that Little Bro's gonna touch on, but that's Caps' 5 list.
All right.
I'll leave it to you, Little Bro.
All right, bet. All right, so I'm gonna start off with something that just dropped end of November. We did not get to review it, but between the solo project within itself and the artist and his entire team, I've been listening to, and really haven't been pushing, but just listening to that whole Griselda team. From Westside Gunn, you know what I'm saying, Conway, and now Butcher, you know what I'm saying? And now Benny the Butcher, so he dropped Tana Talk 3. And they always see those memes, like when people make fun of, like, where you from? You say, I'm from New York, what part? And it's like, oh, Albany or whatever. And they laugh. It's like, yo, let me tell you something. Listening to Westside Gunn, listening to Benny, it's like, I don't want no parts of yo, them dudes be talking some vintage ass, grimy, hood, like, and the thing about it too, it's just very, you go into any hood, I'm sure, no matter where it is, whether you're talking traps in Atlanta, down in Miami, out west, it's like, yo, one constant since the Reagan era is like, yo, a hood is a hood is a hood, and from way into the late 70s, 80s, into current day, it's still the same struggle, same hustle, same grit and grind, and I'm just a firm believer in Tana Talk 3 and Benny and that whole Griselda team. So that definitely is one of those late joints that dropped that I just kept on. Like I said, I'm one of those with the feel, like in the feel, and I kept going back to that joint like non-stop. So I'm gonna put that at 5. 4, I'm gonna give my man Saba, Care For Me. That album, yo, the beats that he chose, instrumentation, his voice and his cadence and everything, like lyrics, like it was it's a dope project. And this young man, you know, I forgot where he's from exactly, but Saba, like, yo, that Care For Me track, this is his second major joint, but I mean, truly put his name on the map for me there with that project. I truly enjoyed that one. So that was 4. 3, I'm gonna go Bossy, my man, Milky Way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was loving that.
Okay.
And that's one of those joints, once again, with just like that feel. and I just kept coming back to it. I mean, it dropped in September, I believe.
Yes.
And to this day, still bumping tracks, if not the whole album entirely. Like, Cole definitely can pick talent. You know what I'm saying? This Dreamville team also, shout out to my boy JID, who got Rookie of the Year on a lot of those major, you know, like BET.
Sure.
I forgot who else gave it to him too.
Ambrosia for Heads, I think, too.
Yes, like, so even with his project too, DiCaprio too, you know, big shout out. So, but that team in itself, but Boss's Milky Way definitely got up there because it was just something that just constantly came back to it. 2, Rasheed Chappell's first break.
Woo! I wish you wasn't an EP because I would have put you on mine, you bastard.
That shit was just dope.
Incredible.
Shout out to Jersey. Like, what more can you say? Like I said, I checked that video. I was on the train beating my head like a fucking maniac in the morning.
I knew
like,
you'd love it. I knew it.
Yeah, B, that project was just fire. And of course, number 1, Lupe Fiasco's DROGAS Waves in. It's like 2 albums that you got, man. 2 for 1 on that project, you know, from the storytelling of, you know, this what if alternate universe where slaves like free themselves and were taking down slave ships, and this whole story that he tells in like the first 5 or 6 tracks, into him just getting into a wave aspect, I guess, and just in the current time and spitting just, you know, the beats on there, the lyrics, the lyrical content, like it's just, to me, phenomenal album.
Absolutely.
Phenomenal album. So is that my 5? Yep. And that's my.
There you have it. That's the Caps and Flaco
10,
approved.
10 total.
10 total. And
10
that's
total.
You know, it's crazy because when we started this format, we were doing them 1 album at a time.
Right.
And just the amount of material that came out was just impossible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
going further, we promise you that we are gonna do our best to touch
Yeah.
on everything that comes out.
The trick with that though, like you're saying, it's when the joint immediately comes, we like to soak it in.
Of course.
You know, not just hit you.
No,
with
we
just
review it on our
immediate
time,
reaction,
clearly.
Right. But the thing is, like, we're now, I guess in the beginning, it might start dedicated joints.
Yeah.
Because, you know, then because it's gonna happen. You know, as we've experienced now, we've always known. It's never could we say like, yo, it was a whack year in hip hop. You know what I mean?
No,
Like, if you honestly, between
no.
us, like before we even did this,
Just too
this
much
year,
variety. There's just too much variety.
We always throw shit back and forth, whether I liked whatever you send me or what we're not, but it's always been like, yo, just busy. Not always the big names. You're not always gonna get like Kendrick's to drop a Black Panther project or J. Cole to drop KOD
Right.
or I mean, how many big names? Like you said, Black Thought dropped 2 joints, Royce dropped 2 joints. Like you're not always gonna, Eminem dropped the album, you know, this year. So a
Out of
lot
nowhere.
of big names dropped music this year, so I guess it seemed like, freaking, who am I forgetting? Wayne dropped, fucking Meek dropped, so it's just like people,
for him to come out like he just fucking literally got out of jail, and for him to just put something out there, you know. But then you also got the guys like the Logics of the world, like they dropped the last
They dropped the
Sinatra
project too, right after he did the 1 year before.
Yeah.
So I guess as a whole, for the mainstream media to sit there and say, oh my God, hip hop, great year, da da da. Meanwhile, we're sitting there like, yo, every year is dope for hip hop.
What is you talking about?
I let it be. I understand. I get the headline. I get it. Makes sense.
And listen, you simple Simon ass motherfuckers, stop being spoon-fed your shit. This shouldn't be a surprise to you. You know what I mean? Like it at this point in time, with technology, with word of mouth, like stop, man. Let's just quit it. There's just too many creative ass motherfuckers out there, man.
Seriously.
Like, and we salute you, bro.
Yeah.
For real. From the JIDs to the Marlon Crabs, to the Bosses, to the Isaiah Rashads, to the Anderson Powers.
And,
you know what I'm saying?
Speaking of Isaiah Rashad,
I can't wait.
which is to roll into 2019.
So I was just about to ask you this.
The Ninth Wonder.
I was just about to ask you this. Who are the guys that you want to see projects made this coming year? Who do you want to see out there putting some material out?
Well, okay, because I got a preview of that, and you know how much of a fan I am of Isaiah, and I was not too crazy about his last project, but to see him at Ninth potentially putting something together, I'm super hyped about that. I'm also hyped, I don't know if you noticed too, they had that clip of Cole and Drake together.
Yeah, but
in the
well, let's see if we got a record out of them.
Well, right. I mean,
that'd be cool.
Yeah, exactly.
That'd be cool.
Just off the strength. I mean, Cole, as you pointed out, for 2018, how many features was doing? I mean, and even not even also 2018, but 17 too. If you think about it, because right towards the end of the year, he was on Jeezy. He was on Jeezy's joint right at the end of 2017.
That should have been the warning shot for everybody.
Exactly. So him and Kendrick, but yeah, man. Definitely that piqued my interest with Isaiah. But let me think. Somebody that didn't drop last year, right?
No, they could even have dropped it. They could even dropped. You know, there's a couple of guys that we got introduced to.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, well, I want to see a polished JID. We didn't get to review his album. I love, outside of the commercial tracks,
right?
I'm gonna say the first 8, not counting. I felt like the bottom end, it kind of was just like filler. You know what I mean? Like
it was a decent debut though.
So now I think like, all right, got that out the way. Now give me something. Give me something with substance. Now give me something with you have the lyrical, talent. You know how to pick beats. So now put that shit together. So I'm hoping he throws us something again this year. Isaiah Rashad, most definitely. That Cole and Drake piqued me, like had me over there. You couldn't your hedges. You couldn't. You're nosy as fuck looking over.
You want to know what's crazy about that? I want to see Drake spit bars, and I want to see Cole singing.
Okay.
I want them to bring that kind of dynamic. I want them to bring something different that the fans aren't expecting. You know,
that would be dope. That would be dope.
I mean,
we're always gonna question whether Drake wrote it or not.
Yeah, but I don't even. Yeah, but you know what though? I don't even care about that anymore because to me, he's not really. Good. It's just if you're gonna have fucking Drake on a song with a Kendrick Lamar, or you're gonna have him on a song with an Anderson .Paak, or you're gonna have him on a song, with Schoolboy. He's gonna right off the bat, you're thinking he's gonna be singing on it.
Yeah. And speaking of Schoolboy, he was supposed to drop 18, but when Mac passed. Peter Mac Miller once again, he froze his project. So that should be coming in 19, so I'm also excited for that.
I want to see Marlon Craft put together a whole studio album.
Okay.
I also want to see Isaiah Rashad put together an album. I also want to see guys like that gave us a good first album. I want to see them. I want to see what they bring to the table now.
I hear
like
that.
the Denzel Currys.
I agree.
You know what I mean?
Zelda. I want to see I want to see Conway. Conway's supposed to get
Conway's a beast, man. I will tell you, but I want to see those guys that kind of like
their initial project.
I want to see Black put out another good quality album. I want to see Anderson .Paak keep doing what he's doing. You know, I want those kind of guys to just see Mr. Bossy. I want to see those guys who they pique my attention and I know they're good, but I want to see I want to see them level up. I want to see them, get better and get better. I want to see Ruben Vincent. Shout out to Jamla. I want to see another project from him. We haven't seen it. I mean, we heard from him on the Jamla compilation, which was incredible. But I haven't heard from him since 2017.
Yeah, and it was the end, right? That
the end, yeah. So I want to see that. I want to see guys like GQ. I want to see you guys come out there, and I want to see y'all. I want to see y'all do work. I want to see an Odyssey album. God damn it! I want to see a new Odd album. You know what I mean? That's what I think. I think that it could only get better. With a type of year like this. I think for a lot of people who thought hip hop was finished, I think for me, 2016 was the year where you could be like, yo, my man, you need to kill that narrative. Because I feel like that year in particular, it's everybody sharpening each other. Another Styles P and David East collab. These are things that I want to see and I look forward to. You know what I mean? So that's what I think.
Well, make it happen 2019.
Make it happen 2019. We'll be here to report it.
Even though it is scary because you got Usher with the Creamy Crack. I don't know if you saw that yet. My man had the creamy crack.
Who do you think he is?
He better be doing a little Richard fucking remake or something.
Listen.
Tutti frutti. Tutti frutti. Oh, my Lupe. That motherfucker. I said, yo, I am slightly jealous.
I feel you.
Oh shit! But we'll see what's gonna happen with 29. At least with hip hop, I have good faith. R&B.
I will say I don't know. R&B needs to. I think that's another genre that's kind of like pigeonholed into people who listen are pigeonholed into what the radio gives you.
Yeah.
Instead of like
they're all dope artists.
There are incredible artists that are making good music. You know what I mean? So it's like I think that we have to start getting with the times as far as consumption of music.
Stream that shit, baby.
Stream it. Get on YouTube. Listen, I have like me. I have Tidal and Apple Music. I have both. You know, I love music, so this is why I pay the money I have.
Right.
Because if I stream it and I like it, then I go and purchase it.
Yep.
You know, matter of fact, you guys need to be doing that more. You know what I mean?
Seriously.
You need to fucking stream and fucking really support these dudes, man. Like when they come to your town, go fucking check out the show.
See them on live. Like,
yeah, man. Come on, bro. Come on, man. Give me a break. We're gonna leave you with this. There've been 3 guys this year that I thought were unbelievable in their contribution this year. Well, maybe 4. I gotta give a shout out to Mr. Ninth Wonder for putting together some great
non-stop.
Great music this year on the production end. You know, I'm tired of producers with a broad stroke type of instrumentation. Throw a classic beat and put a little stupid little drum kit. I'm tired of that. I want to see complexity. I want to see it. I want to see that instrumentation bring the best out of the artist that's putting their thoughts on the beat. I want to see more of that. I think Ninth Wonder challenges those guys. Apollo Brown is another guy. You know, like even Swiss Beats, to see him mature too. Like, I mean, the Echo joint might be the best song of the year.
That's up there.
You know what I mean? It's one of them at least. You know.
I'll definitely say this. I'd take that project, that one track with Nas over the.
Really?
I mean, they were dope. They were dope tracks on them. Cop Shot the Kid. You know what I'm saying? They were, but I mean, dude, the way.
What I'll say is this: is that that's the rumor. The rumor is that he's doing an album with Swiss Beats and the RZA, like a full length.
Oh, both of them.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
Okay.
That's the rumor. I don't know. Hopefully it's true. Hopefully it's true. I also want to give a huge shout to Black Thought, bro.
Got busy.
Black Thought got busy, bro. You set the bar up there for MCing, bro. The MCing aspect, I've always known for years that you ain't for play, but you showing motherfuckers, because I guess he got tired of people just not even mentioning him.
Right. It's true.
Brought him into the light.
It's true.
Royce the 5'9". Your features, you know, I think you kind of like saved the Eminem project. You know, your collab with Joel Ortiz, Unreal, and then you and Primo doing Prime and coming out with Book of Ryan. You know what I mean? Like you guys, busy. And I think the other gentleman that has to be mentioned is, again, Mr. Cold World. And not just, and I'm gonna be honest, not just for the features he's been on this year. KOD was a very solid album. Not one of my favorite J. Cole albums, but still quality album. But his ability to fucking find talent. So the Bossy album, JID, you know what I mean? Like Ari Lennox, like these are, you know, who the fuck heard of them? I didn't. And to have them in the forefront and put them out here in this year where everybody was putting out material. You know what I mean? Like just the quality that was out there, and to just say, you know what, kids, it's time for you to fucking spread your wings and fly and get out there. And to be able to be considered and be up there with those type of albums that were out there. Remember, you had Styles P had a project this year. You know, Dave East and Styles had a project this year. You know, like it's just so many things, and for them to come out their first at bat and, you know, kind of almost swing for the fence. You know, I gotta give them their just due, man. So that's Cap's last thought on 2019, man. You've been, 2018. You guys have been incredible. I can't wait for 2019. I can't wait for the drops.
Bring it. This Friday. Let's see what they do.
Somebody sneak up there that I don't know who they are. Bam!
Let's see, man. I hope so.
Drop this gem.
I hope so. But as we always say, listen, be safe out there. You know, just love one another.
Shout out to the Sucker Free Podcast.
Stop making stupid people famous.
There you go.
Shout out to Sucker Free Podcast. Say Sucker Freaks.